beautiful angels. It's Tessa of Akashic Soul Healing. Today I'm going to talk about my history on how I'm able to be in this Akashic fields. How did I become an Akashic Records teacher? I believe all these things that are happening now is actually connected to my near-death experience. So at 2 years old, I was clinically dead. Medically, the doctor declared I died of diphtheria. So my mother, who's rest in peace, she was telling me the story how she was on the telephone calling my family to bring the money because I passed on, and the nurses ran to her and told her that I'm back to life. Anyway, while I was a child, I had this vivid vision, this astral projection, or I mean the near-death experience. I saw my mother carrying my body and my two brothers running in the hallway of the hospital. So I grew up seeing spirits, ghosts, a very sensitive child. I could foretell future. I could read palmistry around 9 years old. So I have all these gifts that I thought it was just normal. I would gather my friends and teach them how to empower themselves with the angels. I'm daily communicating with the angels, and I gave her a name, Guadalupe. And it's just an amazing fantasy, or I was living in the unseen until I hit teenage life and I became a victim of sexual abuse. And this is my karma. My father was my sacred contract, which is called sacred contract, because in the bigger picture of my soul is going to have this experience of sexual abuse, because I'm going to be a healer. And my father was my sacred contract, of course. And so I came with this experience with him and to fulfill this mission. So that's how is the bigger picture until I'm still a nurse for 24 years now and retiring soon. And I became like a soul healer during my nursing. Like I would go and walk around the hallways for 8 years of night shift. And when I was religious, I would pray to Divine Mercy and Saint Faustina, and souls were dying. Like 27 people died in a month. And I would, ask Saint Faustina in the dream, and she sang to me, "Healeth of thy world, healeth of thy world." And she communicates to me, and all these beautiful, I call them, it's like raptures, the raptures of my soul, or it's like just so amazing that I can communicate with the saints. And Jesus Christ was my number one ascended master, until I got pulled out of the religion, the Catholics, and I created this, I opened my home to help people spiritually. And on 2008, that's when I tap into the Akashic Records. But literally, you're already tapping into your records when you're doing your zone, But it's just a path, an initiation with these masters. I got initiated to Melchizedek, Saint Germain of the Violet Flame, the masters, the Chohans of the race, archangels and angels. When I studied the records, I went back to the angels realm. So they showed me, as a 2-year-old, I was actually growing in this beautiful paradise. There was this huge tree like Genesis, and I was playing around with the angels and the archangels. Four archangels kissed me and came to me, and I saw Archangel Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, and Uriel. And then they prepared me to meet the divine. And the divine doesn't have a face. It was just this awesome, magnificent, expansive, amazing presence. And then I felt the sweetness. I was actually in the energy healing table of my girlfriend, and it it was amazing. I didn't want to come back here. Then I heard this swoosh sound twice, and when I came back to Earth, I was okay. So literally, what's happening is because we are multidimensional, as Teza here on Earth, I'm also Teza in that realm. Like I could tap into the angels realm and be attuned to that energy. So that's how the Akashic Records had evolved me, transmute my energies to the attunements of the angels realm. That's why I am now teaching angels light attunements, because of that gifts that I've received. And there's a lot of people that are awakened and have these gifts. So I'm not the only one. There's so many of us. It's 144,000 masters that are here who are going to ascend with this, it's kind of like a project on how we will create a new earth and transfigure all these things that are not vibrating in light. So that is called the glimpse of heaven in one of my chapters of this book that I wrote, Star Lotus, on 2010. So the soul is so expansive that this object here, Asteza, is just one fragment of these dimensions. So literally, when I do my astral travel, one time I woke up in Saturn, and it's just an amazing field. And I realized when I woke up, Saturn was in Scorpio, which is my zodiac. So literally, we are all connected. We are the planet. We are the universe. And in that sense, we are holographic. The holographic matrix of our being. So when we come into this energy medicine, this is the future, and this is already here. The energy medicine. We are literally clearing our crystalline fields, the DNA, our our composition, our structures, our molecular and atoms, the atomical configuration of our DNA is going to increase in light and vibration. As the earth increases the vibration, the human beings has to synchronize with this. That's why there's so many people that are dying, and the wars, all these things that are creating chaos in our system is literally a part of us, because there's still duality, and there's still things that we need to awaken. So the awakening process is big, because I'm getting the information that if there's a 3 billion cells, those cells needs to create a hologram that is in full silicon base, like light. As the earth have 25% silicon, and because silicon is like a magnet. So there's 85% silicon of planet Earth. That means Earth is a huge crystal, just like us. So our crystalline fields, we need to increase the vibration towards love and light. Just like, Dr. I couldn't say his name, starts with an E, the Japanese doctor who experiment with these crystals in the water. And we are, like 75 or 80% water. So that means when we speak, our words creates the crystalline fields of our body, our mind, our heart, our spirit, and soul. So the whole blueprint, the whole being is affected by one word. Can you imagine? By a thought, by an action. So it is really important to be conscious of everything. I have written a book called Universal Conscious Self, and it's like a level 1 Akashic. It's like being awakened, aware of our ego, and then aligning our ego with our true self, and then activating our universal self. So yes, we'll do more. And I just thank my masters, all these beautiful ascended masters, archangels and angels that are giving me these messages, because if I look back 10 years ago, I wouldn't fathom what's this all about. But this is the time, and no time to lose, and we need to move and vibrate in higher frequencies to allow the healing of our planet and our species. And yes, thank you for listening. Blessings to all. Namaste.